Hey everyone, Motorcycle Geek here. As you saw in the teaser before, I uploaded a couple weeks ago, or maybe it was last week. That's my new bike. I already got it a couple months, I think. I got it before winter, I think around September, October, something like that. Yeah, I really like it, and let me show you some parts of it. Let's turn this camera right now into a helmet camera. Alright, this is much better. Now I will show you some things about the bike. The first thing I changed was the mirrors. The original ones came out from here and they were squared. And I really like the style of bar end mirrors. Hello, sir. I really like the style of bar end mirrors. So I got these. These are from Highsider. I think it's called the Victory Evo, something like that. I had to fabricate something else with another bar end I had laying around. But it works, so that's nice. This windshield was already on it. It had a plastic border, but I removed it. It's nice black, it keeps the wind from your chest, so that's perfect. Originally, when I bought the bike, it already had like these, what do you call that? High beam lights. I sold those for a couple €100, so that was nice because I didn't like it at all. It was ugly. There are some luggage bags with it, suitcases. They're not on it right now because why would I put them on if I don't need them? But that was really nice. It all came with the bike. It already has a grip heater, so that's also really nice. It was very pleasant in winter. And yeah, that's the current status of the bike. Things I want to do someday when I have time is change this metal part, make it black, and the same over here. I already got a radiator guard lying around because this will otherwise get damaged. Yeah, let me put on my gloves and then take you for a short ride. So what's really nice about this one is right now it has almost 6,000 kilometers of mileage. But when I bought it, it was just over 4,000 and the price was really good. With all the accessories with it, like the windshield, it has a power outlet over here. Oh, let's get it back, yes. The power outlet, the gear indicator. This one alone already cost like €100. This one is, I think, as well 100. Windscreen is 300. The high beam lights I sold for 200, but new they are like over 300. The bags are a couple hundred, and the price was just like a regular bike without any accessories. So yeah, that was a great deal. It only had, like I said, over 4,000 kilometers. The bike was previously owned by some lady that rode it around for trips with her husband. He owned a Harley Davidson. She wanted one as well, so she traded it in for this bike. Now she rides a Harley Davidson. I don't mind, I really like this one. The reason I went for a Vulcan S is because I really like the styling and the idea of cruisers and all that kind of bikes. My previous bike, as you know, was a Yamaha MT-07. Let's go left here. And as cool as it was, it looked really cool. I bought it without having a test drive, so that was dumb. And I won't do that again. Let's try to get... Yes. So I won't do that again. For this one I made a nice test drive in the east side of my province. And I really liked it. I really like the styling of it. The engine is, it has a little bit of less horsepower than I had before. I think this one has 62 horsepower. But for me, that's plenty. I mean, I'm not a speed freak. I don't pull wheelies and that kind of stuff. I just want a bike to enjoy a ride with. and most of the time I always stay under 100 kilometers an hour anyways, so why would you need more horsepower? But that's another discussion. So for me, this bike had it all. I was also interested in the Honda Rebel. I did a test ride on it before. I put it on my YouTube. You can see it somewhere in the screen perhaps, I think top right. And although I liked that bike, it was the same engine as I had before on the previous bike I had, the CB500. And yeah, it was too small for me. It was really good fun on the bike. I sat nice on it, but it was just a bit too small. And then this bike is way better. It's just a tad bigger, engine, 650 cc, bit more horsepower. So for me that's perfect. And for a cruiser, a lot of people have tested it. You can search it on YouTube. This bike is quite fast. Although it only has 61 horsepower, it also only weighs 220 kilograms, which is quite light for this style of bike. The average Harley Davidson is over 300 kilograms, I think, maybe 350. And they make just a bit more horsepower, a bit more torque, but it's not much big of a difference. So there are a couple of comparison videos with this bike against some Harleys, Indians maybe. And this bike, up till 100 kilometers an hour, maybe a bit over it, pulls ahead of those bikes. Which is great, because this bike costs half as much, maybe less. So yeah, that ID I really liked, and that's why I went looking for this bike. I wanted one before, when I was looking for the MT-07, but then it was way too expensive. But now, a couple years later, it's in my price range, and that's perfect. So yeah, a couple things I noticed about the bike that are, well, not really flaws, but they could have done it better, is the throttle response. My MT-07 also had it. It's a bit jerky sometimes, I don't know if I say that correctly, but going at lower speeds, you have to play a bit with your clutch lever and that kind of stuff. One thing I do like about this bike is not just the acceleration, it's the sound it makes when you're accelerating. But it's really weird. It's like something happens when you open the throttle all the way up, something under the gas tank over here. Some beast comes alive with the noise it makes. It's really cool. So that's something that surprised me actually during the test ride. So yeah, like I said, now it's calm and quiet, nothing happening. But when I open up the throttle, I'm not sure if you could really hear it that well, but man, something happens down under there. It's grunting like a lion or something. I really like that. Another thing is the riding position. Of course, your feet are forward. If you're not used to that, that's a bit of getting used to. It felt weird when I made the test drive, because I just got on there and like, hey, where are the foot pegs? Oh wait, up here. But yeah, now I'm used to it actually, and it feels really good. You're sitting like in the bike. That's something that I was missing with the MT-07. With the MT-07 I was sitting on the bike, and with this one I'm sitting in the bike. It feels way better. Makes the bike behave more agile or something, I don't know. By the way, that's also something I really like about this bike, or Vulcan S. For a cruiser you can really throw it around corners. Most of the time when you tell people like, oh, I own a cruiser, then you can't go around corners fast, or your pegs will go hit the ground. Yeah, of course you can not really do that like a sports bike can, but for a cruiser it can go quite low. I haven't even touched the ground with the pegs yet, and I'm not holding in or something. So that's something this bike also does really well. And also the main thing why I bought this bike and not any other bike is the styling. I really like the styling of this bike. When people think of a cruiser or a chopper, however you want to call it, they think of a Harley Davidson. And one thing I don't like about Harley Davidson at all, especially the older ones, is all the chrome. It's so much chrome, man. How do you want young people to buy your bike? Is like one big mirror that you're riding on. It's really dumb. And with this one, besides the two gray what's called plates on the side, it's all black, and that's really something I like. The styling is also, well, new, refreshing. It's not like a traditional chopper bike. It doesn't have a V-twin, it has a parallel twin that comes from the Ninja 650, so that's a sports engine in a cruiser. Yeah, the styling doesn't look like the classic cruiser at all. It has a under, what do you call that, belly exhaust. It has this weird headlight that's shaped like an upside down ace of spades. What do you call that, spades? Yeah, I really like it. Duh, because I bought it, but I really do like it. Oh, I like that sound so much. And this is still with the stock exhaust. No changes yet. Oh, now I get remembered by this speed bump. Another downside of this bike is going over speed bumps. You can really feel it in your bum. With any other bike, you would just stand up and go over the speed bump and you won't even notice it with your body. You just bend your knees a little bit and that's fine. But with this one, yeah, you can stand up a little bit, but not that much. So that's the only downside of riding this style of bike. Is going over a speed bump, you have to notice it, or you will notice it. So yeah, that's it for now. I will make a video in the future about how it is to own this bike for 5,000 kilometers, for example, or 10,000 kilometers, like a long-term review. Because right now I only have ridden 1,500 kilometers on it. So yeah, I have not really that much experience at all on this bike. But I really like it. It's a big change looking at the other bike I had, the MTS7, which I really looked up to pick it up and ride it, because it was just a challenge. Not really like performance wise, but just the way the bike handled, the engine was, that kind of stuff. It wasn't my cup of tea. Soon I will change out the oil, because this bike is still running on the old oil it came with from the dealership. I hope it's not the oil that they've put in like 3 years ago. But yeah, the guy was trying to sell me this maintenance service thing that they will change out all the fluids and stuff. I said, no man, save me the, what was it, 300 euros? I will do it myself, no problem. What is this car doing? I do it myself. So I will do that quite soon. Put a video up about it to show you how to do it, because it's not really that difficult. Super easy to do, and you can save a lot of money with it. Of course, I will do my own chain maintenance when I'm going to change the tires somewhere in the future. I will, of course, keep you updated about that. Any other stuff I will do about the bike, I will film, of course. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to click on the bell icon so you know when I've put up a new video. Sometimes YouTube does it by itself, but you gotta help YouTube sometimes, you know. Click on the like button if you like this video, and let me know in the comments, what do you think of this bike? Have you ridden it before? Have you experience on it? Because I really like it, and I really do recommend anybody who's looking into a bike, if you're a beginner or experienced rider, and maybe you haven't ridden a cruiser any before and don't like the Harley Davidson old style choppers, cruisers, go to the dealership and ride this one. It's really fun. I'm sure you will like it. So that's just the quick introduction to my bike. Not a teaser anymore, it's out there. And see you next time. Bye. Oh, before I forget, let me know in the comments what kind of videos you want to see about my Vulcan S. What are you interested in? What should I show you? Do you have any questions? Performance statistics, I don't know. Yeah, just let me know what you want to see or know about my Vulcan S.